So after Christ sacrificed his life on the cross, it says in the book of Acts and also at the end of some of the Gospels that he ascended up into heaven. And Revelation makes it very clear, and so does the book of Hebrews, that he ascended up into the heavenly sanctuary. This makes it very clear that the courtyard represented the ordeal at the cross. The altar of sacrifice represented the cross. And now Jesus, continuing in unraveling the symbolism of the Old Testament, he ascends up into the holy place of the sanctuary. And I want you to remember all the sanctuary, all of its parts, all of its furniture, all of its sacrifices, all of its priests, all of its feasts, it all pointed forward to the ministry of the Messiah. Jesus dying on the cross, symbol of the altar of sacrifice. Get that in your head and read the Leviticus again, and you will see it in a whole new light. It says that his ministry did not end at the cross. If his ministry ended at the cross, it wouldn't describe him as our high priest up in heaven. Again, I'd like to read Hebrews 9:12. It says, "Not by the blood of bulls and goats, but through his own blood he entered the holy place once and for all, having obtained eternal salvation for us." And again, the New King James and a few other translations totally screw that up. The word for holy place is hagion, or Hagia, and the word for most holy place is Hagia Hagion. You can look up the Greek on this. It's all right there. So when Christ ascended into heaven, he followed the order of the Old Testament tabernacle system. He entered into the holy place. On the earthly tabernacle and the earthly service in the Old Testament, the high priest went into the holy place daily. But into the most holy place he only went one time at the end of the year, Yom Kippur, the 7th day of the 10th month of the 10th day of the 7th month. Excuse me. You can read about this in Leviticus 23. All of these festivals point forward to Christ, but this Yom Kippur was very special because that is when the sins of all of Israel that were recorded in the sanctuary by the blood of all the sacrifices that were offered were then placed on the head of the scapegoat. And that scapegoat's name, interestingly, is Azazel, which is the name of a demon in the book of Enoch. Interesting book, not inspired, but very interesting. And so, but in the most holy place, there is only one article of furniture, and that's the Ark of the Covenant. And we're going to see that later in Revelation. So when he ascended into heaven, he ascended into the holy place. In the holy place, there's 3 items: the candlestick, the table of showbread, or the literal translation, the table of the bread of presence, and then also the altar of incense.